WVTT is the news station that brings you news and information that you can depend on. We are first, fast, and accurate, bringing you the only local television news in the Twin Tiers. WVTT, depend on it.
You know, Alexa, about a week ago, we were supposed to have snow all this week.
I know, and then those temperatures got a little on the mild side.
Yeah.
We're not seeing snow as of yet.
That's right. So we're seeing rain for the next couple of days, but we will have some snow later on in the week. Details straight ahead here on WVTT.
Now, WVTT. Global News Update.
If a unity government is to be formed, it won't have a leading role. The ousting of Bashar al-Assad is the main goal for most Syrian rebels. CNN's Nick Robertson assesses the options for the current president if he does choose to step aside.
When Bashar al-Assad appeared on Syrian TV at the beginning of this year, he ended months of speculation over his intentions. He vowed to stay and fight rebels, terrorists as he called them, and has given no indication since that he's changed his mind. Iran and Russia have stood behind him. But that's beginning to change. Russia's backing is for the first time beginning to look shaky. The State Duma speaker hinted Assad may have to rethink his future. The current government in Syria must fulfill its functions, but time has shown that it's not up to the task, he said. Rebels are unequivocal. No peace talks until he's gone. The US, Europe, his neighbours Turkey and Jordan say he must go too. And as the rebels increasingly make more military gains, as backing from international allies strengthens, the question is beginning to be asked, will Assad stay and fight to the end, as he has said, or will he go? His biographer, David Lesh, has met him many times.
There's an air of resignation about his fate, that he is going to leave his office one way or another. And this may indicate to me that instead of the regime fighting to win now, that perhaps he's fighting to improve his bargaining position.
For now, his options, go or stay, are open, and there are plenty of lessons from the Arab Spring. Unlike Muammar Gaddafi, the toppled Libyan leader, Assad has no international arrest warrants limiting his travel. He still has time to do what the Tunisian leader Ben Ali did at the beginning of the Arab Spring, make a run for it. He fled to Saudi Arabia. Unlikely Assad would go there.
I cannot think of too many places that would house him, and probably the most viable option would be Iran. I don't think, knowing him personally, that would be a terribly desirous option.
Egyptian leader Hosni Mubarak left it too late, fled to his palace at the port city of Sharm el-Sheikh, still in Egypt, and was arrested. Ending up in court amid humiliating scenes, lying in a hospital bed. Gaddafi called it completely wrong. He went on the run after balking, despite the advice of one aide, at cutting a deal that would allow him to flee the country. He paid with his life. The key question for Lesh, who advises Assad now?
He has listened a great deal to his wife over the years. She has been one of his primary advisors, as has his mother. And again, from what I've heard, the mother is more of a stay and fight and we'll make our way through this type of personality, perhaps more so than his wife. And that fits in, I think, more clearly with those in his inner circle.
What is for sure, if he does run, he'll want to know the leader there isn't about to be toppled too. Nick Robertson, CNN, London.
It was a cold, rainy, and quiet night in Newtown, Connecticut, as mourners and media members departed. But the community's grief is still clear, even on the empty streets. Tori Dunnan shows us more.
After the crowds left and the news crews packed up for the night, we decided to take a look at what Newtown really looks like. This is supposed to be a Christmas decoration, but it's turned into a makeshift memorial that's growing in size by the day. If you take a look here, you'll see all of the items that have been left. Hundreds of stuffed animals, flowers, balloons, toys, and candles that have been lit by people who either knew the victims or by complete strangers who just came to pay their respects. If you look across the street, though, there's still a stark reminder that this police investigation is going on. Flashing lights there leading the way to Sandy Hook Elementary School. And then even beyond that, this sign here pretty much says it all. Faith, hope, and love. And beyond that, there's a sign that reads, God bless Sandy Hook. In Newtown, Connecticut, I'm Tori Dunnan reporting.
Thanks, Tori. And while the community of Newtown continues to grieve, we're getting new details tonight about the alleged shooter, 20-year-old Adam Lanza. Several people who knew the Lanza family are describing that youngest son as, quote, quiet and withdrawn. As WVTT's exclusive team coverage continues with this from Brian Todd.
His motive for this unspeakable act is still not clear, law enforcement officials say. And in digging for details about shooter Adam Lanza and his family, accounts emerged that are still confusing, sometimes conflicting. A neighbor who knew him in recent years describes Lanza as troubled. But listen to this account from a young man who knew him.
He was just a kid.
Just a kid?
Just a kid.
Never antisocial?
No, I'm just gonna... No.
Troublemaker?
No, definitely not.
Noticeable? Did he just kind of blend into the background?
Yeah. Nothing that would warrant any of this.
Ryan Kraft says he babysat Adam Lanza about 10 years ago when Lanza was 10 and Kraft was 15. He describes Lanza as focused, quiet, introverted. He never saw evidence of violence, Kraft says, but says Lanza did throw the occasional temper tantrum.
His general stuff like, we'd have to put him to bed and he wouldn't like that, or we had to stop watching TV and he wouldn't like that. Normal stuff that a kid would do, but I guess at 10 years old, most kids get out of that phase, and that wasn't the case for Adam.
Kraft was only a year older than Adam Lanza's older brother, Ryan. He says their mother told him to let Ryan do whatever he wanted. But as for Adam...
What I really remember clearly is that Nancy always asked me to always be with him in the room, no matter what. Like, don't go to the bathroom, don't ever leave him without supervision.
Kraft says Adam had a contentious relationship with his mother, Nancy. She'd split from the boy's father, Peter Lanza, who's described by the job networking website LinkedIn as tax director and vice president at GE Energy Financial Services. But Kraft says Nancy Lanza was an engaged mother, always setting up play dates for her two sons and taking part in neighborhood activities. Neighbors and friends say Nancy Lanza enjoyed gardening and had taken time off from a job in finance.
It's like a normal anybody else in this neighborhood. Decorate the house, and the house was always, pristine, and she was just like any other housewife.
But like her son, there are gaps in Nancy Lanza's story that still need to be filled in. She owned the weapons that Adam Lanza used in the killings, including a semi-automatic rifle, according to a law enforcement source, and it's not clear why she purchased them. Brian Todd, CNN, Washington.
A big update on Wall Street. Let's take a look now at WVTT's Wall Street Wrap-Up, brought to you by 96.7 WVTT. The Dow is up 100 points to close at 13,235. NASDAQ is up almost 40 points to close at 3,010. The S&P is up about 17 points to close at 1430. Sports and weather are next. You're not going to want to miss it. Keep it right here on News Channel 25 WVTT.